Hey guys, today we're gonna play Shade Tree Mechanics and we're gonna change the oil in this truck. So grandma's gonna get under the truck and change the oil. Isn't that funny? That might be what I would title this. Jiffy Lube sometimes charges you over $100 to change your oil. And it's really easy to do. The oil now is a little more expensive because they only sell synthetic oil. It's like $20 for a 5-gallon container, and the oil filter, depending on the one you get, the one I get is not the most expensive. It usually costs like $4, and you can get them all the way up to, well, the one that in this truck, sometimes if you get the really nice one, it's $8. You want to change your oil, you want to check your oil, I'd say at least once a month. If that's about average. It just depends if it's leaking oil or not. If it's leaking oil, you want to change it or check it. If it's leaking oil, you want to check it more often. This one doesn't leak oil, so I usually check it like once a month. You should change your oil like every 3 months or every 3,000 miles. I don't drive this very often or a lot, so I usually change it like every 3 months. So let's get started. Let me give you an overview of some of the parts that you check. You want to check the windshield wiper fluid. You want to check the brake fluid. You want to check the antifreeze fluid, the levels on those. I would suggest that every time you change the oil, just to make sure that nothing's leaking and that you have plenty of fluid in your vehicle. Also, you want to check the air pressure in your tires and check the spare. Make sure that the spare has air in the tires. So I'll probably go over that in another video. First thing you want to do is find a good shade tree. This is a good tree. I water it a lot. Okay guys, so we're going to change the oil today. It just takes the dipstick, the oil cap, and we're going to check some other things like the brake fluid. Just make sure that it's full. There's a level, see that line right there? We know it's full, and that's full. We're going to check the windshield washer fluid just to make sure this container is full. We're going to check to make sure that we have antifreeze, so that this container is full. Then you know that you have enough antifreeze in your car and you're not going to overheat. Okay guys, so I'm going to make sure that this antifreeze is full. The antifreeze looks good to me, so I must have changed it at some time. But this, all you have to do is just push it on, pull it off. It has a big old dipstick in it. And look, it's kind of low. So we want it filled to there. Right there. Okay. So it's a little low. Not much. So let's just fill it up to that little fill line. And that's why they make it a color. That way you can see. So see guys, I filled it up. I just put the can sideways and filled it up. You can use a funnel if you're not real good at it. Make sure the funnel's clean though. And look, I filled it up to that fill line right there. Now I'm just gonna put this back in. And then just push this down until you can hear it snap. Like that. Now we have enough antifreeze in there. And I'm gonna have to buy some washer fluid. I know there's some in here, but it looks a little low. You usually want it up to that line. It says full right there. So I'm gonna have to buy some washer fluid. The same thing, you just pop that off and then just pour the washer fluid in here and then snap it shut. Okay, now guys, we're gonna change the oil. So the first thing we're gonna do is take the dipstick out. And see, my oil's pretty clean. I usually change it about every 3,000 miles. And then I'm gonna take the cap off. And then we're gonna climb under the truck. Notice how I have it propped. I drove up on the curb, that way I didn't have to jack it up. And I have this drain fluid pan. You're also going to need 5 gallons of oil. They don't sell this all mileage oil anymore. It's all synthetic now. You're going to need an oil filter. You just really have to Google your car and they'll tell you what oil filter you need. You're going to need a wrench. This is an adjustable wrench. And you're going to need an oil funnel and a paper towel, and I have a rag. And you can, if you notice on the cap, it tells you I need 5W30 oil. So that's what I got. See? It's 5W30 oil. It'll tell you on the cap of your car. And now we're going to climb under the truck and change the oil. We're just going to unscrew the oil plug and the oil filter. This is a dirty job. You don't want to wear your good clothes to do this. And they played a trick on me. I'll tell you about it. So guys, when I was a kid in auto mechanic school, I was in my teens. They had me put my belly or my body right underneath this spot. I had to go home and change my clothes nonetheless. So this is an adjustable wrench. Notice it gets bigger or smaller with your thumb. You're just turning this little gear right here. So I'm turning the gear and I get it on here and then I turn it with my thumb just so it's tight. And then, like I said, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So we're going to turn counterclockwise, which would be left, and see how, and you got to kind of push it a little bit just to get that bolt loose. And we're going to unscrew it. And watch, the oil's going to come out into this pan right here. So, here we go. Okay guys, so on this truck, they're all different. But on this truck, you can actually see the filter up here, see? It's really easy to get. So what I'm gonna do is unscrew it. And again, you're gonna turn it counterclockwise. Boy, that sucker's in there this time. I don't know my own strength sometimes, because I did this last time. And sometimes, that sucker's in there. Okay, let me go get an oil wrench. Okay, guys, so this is an oil wrench. They're not very expensive. You can get them sometimes on sale for like $3 or $4. And I'm going to put this up here around this oil thing. And I'm going to put it like this way. Okay. There we go. Now it's turning. Okay. And you want to keep this oil pan underneath the oil plug because all this is going to run out. And I'm going to move this oil pan over just a little bit. Ugh. And now, taking it off. And watch, all this oil is going to run out of the thing because it's going to, there's kind of a vacuum in there. And all of the oil just ran out. That's why you need a paper towel. And I'm just going to dump the rest of this oil in here. This is a messy job. I always feel sorry for them when they change my oil. And then you're going to want to wipe this completely down. And I like to wipe all of where the oil spilled because that will decay your parts. You don't want that. You want to make sure everything's clean. Where's that oil plug? Okay guys, so there's a couple things you want to do. Before you put this oil plug back on, you want to make sure that it's really clean. Just make sure you take a paper towel and wipe it. The next thing you want to do is take your oil filter out. I like to get the ones with this black thing on here because it gives a grip. Obviously, because I really tightened it last time. And there's a, see that black rubber gasket around here? I'm going to put this under the truck so I can put the old one in there. That is awful dry. So we're going to open this oil can or oil container. We're going to tip it a little bit and get a little bit on our finger, and we're going to go like that. Just so it makes a really good seal. So see that moisten that rubber gasket. Then I'm going to put this cap back on just so that it doesn't spill. So now let's go back under and we're going to put these pieces back. So we're going to put the oil plug back. We're going to put the oil filter back. Okay guys, so this is really clean under here. I took a cleaner paper towel and cleaned that. And now, see there's a hole in there and there's a thread up here. We're just going to put it back up there. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so we're going to turn it right. We're not going to use that oil wrench to tighten it. We're just going to hand tighten. So tighten it as much as you can with your hand, just snug. You don't want to over tighten it, so don't use the wrench. I can't emphasize that enough. And then we're going to take the oil plug. Notice it has a little rubber gasket on that oil plug. There's a little, see that gasket? I don't want to drop it into the oil pan. We're going to wipe this off again. And you see that right there? That's where we're going to put the oil plug. So we're going to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, guys. It's really all you have to remember. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And this time we're going to take the wrench and we're going to tighten it. We tighten the screw with the wrench, not the oil filter. And I tightened it as much as I can. You don't want to over tighten that. It just needs to be snug. And that's it. We just changed the oil. Well, we just got the bottom part done. So I'm going to check to make sure this is still is tight. And we're going to check this one more time. I always like to check them twice. And now we just go back up and put the oil in and put those things. That's it. How easy is that? Okay guys, so now we're going to make sure this funnel is really clean. Really good. So I like to take an oily rag. I like to take this old oily one and just clean it really good. You want to make sure this is clean before you start pouring stuff into your engine. We're going to clean it. See how that grease kind of acts as a lubricant or like almost like water. And we're going to clean it inside and out. Just make sure it's super clean. I'm even going to push that so that it's clean in the stem. Then I'm going to take this cleaner one and make sure that there's no dirt. You want to make sure it's super clean. Alright, so that's clean enough. And we're going to put that right in this hole right here. And we're just going to pour it in the funnel. I hope you guys can see this. But I'm going to pour like probably 3/4 in here before I start checking. And now we're going to take the dipstick and we're going to wipe it down. Make sure that's clean also. And see how it has that right there? It says, see, it has an F right there. It's upside down, probably looking from your angle. But it says full, and then there's another little line there that says low. We want it full. And actually, since we changed the oil filter, that's going to take some of it. And I'm going to put this dipstick right in here. And then we're going to pull it out and see it's not reading on there. We should see some oil on that dipstick. Let me see if I can hold it still. See? So it's not registering yet. It's not registering yet. So we poured some more in this funnel, and we're going to do the same thing again. Aha! This time it registered. Look, it's almost full. So let's wipe it off, and I'm going to put just a little bit more. Getting excited, guys, because we're almost done. And we're just going to put just a tad more. It doesn't need much. And I'm going to use this container, this old container. I like to use Quaker State. I'm from Nebraska. We're farmers. And I like to put my old oil with the funnel in this container, and then I take it to my mechanic, and he disposes it for me. That's probably enough. Not even maybe a half a cup more. And you're going to keep putting like maybe a quarter cup, a half a cup, because you don't want to overfill it. It's better off being underfull than overfull. All right, guys, look. It's registering. That looks like it's almost full, so I'm going to put this back in. Let's wipe it off. You always want to wipe. Get in the habit of wiping this dipstick. You don't want to put anything that will contaminate your engine. We're going to pull this off. We're going to put this cap back on. We made sure that the oil plug was tight. We made sure that the oil filter is tight. We made sure that we put the dipstick back in. We don't want any of this to escape. You got to check all 4 of those things. The oil filter, the oil plug, the oil dipstick, and make sure this cap is on and tight. And not over tight, just snug. Just as snug as you can put with your hands. And now we're going to make sure that everything's off of the engine. We're going to go start this puppy. So, let's start it and see what happens. I think we did it. And it didn't take very long either. Hey guys, just in the nick of time. We're running out of shade. So see guys, the oil light's off. You guys, it's running pretty good. Running pretty good, no oil leaks. The other thing we're gonna have to do is dump this oil using the funnel back into that oil container. But there's no leaks, see? No leaks. And I'm gonna put some dirt on that little oil spill. And that'll absorb that little oil spot, but it's not leaking. You want to make sure that that little lug nut right there, that little nut right there is not leaking, that silver one. So it looks good, nothing's dripping underneath there. So we did good, guys. And like I said, I'm going to take this, see how this funnel is. I'm just going to pour that oil back into this container and take it to my mechanic and have him dispose of it. Okay guys, see how easy it is to change your oil? A grandma like me can do it, anybody can do it. And it's so easy, and it helps your truck or your car, and it saves you money. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Have a good day guys, bye.